Hello there. I thought I'd do a bit of a channel update. I haven't been doing much painting. Lost my mojo really. I've never been a very productive painter, as I've mentioned before, but I really fell out with painting almost entirely for quite a while during the summer, and eventually it's come back, I'm pleased to say, and I've started doing some painting, and I thought I might just show you my recent efforts. What we're looking at here is a British unit for the American War of Independence, or the American Revolution. It's supposed to be the 4th King's Regiment. I've taken a bit of artistic license. I haven't bothered with the lace on the tricorns for the rank and file, but I have put silver lace on the officers' tricorns. These are actually front rank figures, Warlord, I'll get it right eventually, Foundry figures that I bought off eBay. So they're quite old sculpts, but they're in pretty good condition. They didn't need a great deal of cleaning up, which I was relieved about. And I'm quite pleased with how they've turned out. I'll just give you a quick run by. I've based them so that there is little chance, or less chance, of the bayonets being broken off during use. As I said, I'm quite pleased with how they've turned out. I also tried a slightly different technique when it came to basing them by putting some figures at the back, so that, if you can see from over the top, you effectively get a 3-rank representation, which makes a bit of a change. The bases are deeper than my other American War of Independence figures, but I'm not fussed about that. They look okay. They took ages to paint, simply because, as I said, I lost my mojo. I'm glad they're now finished anyway, so it's a useful addition. Next, I did more recently this group of Prussian Napoleonic officers. These are all front rank figures to go with my Prussian Napoleonic collection. It's not going to be a very big army, and in fact I've cheated and I've had quite a bit of it painted professionally for me. But I've done these. These senior officers are in 2 packs basically. The first group is 1 pack, and the second group comes in another pack. And the chaps at the back there here, these are just some officer figures that I'd painted up, intending to incorporate into battalions, but never got round to doing it. So they're now individual officers. I've tried to organise them on the basis that the chaps on the rectangular bases are going to be ADCs, and the chaps on the circular bases I'll use as senior officers, such as brigade commanders. If you bear with me, I'll see if I can get in a bit closer for those. Okay, so we're now a bit closer, and hopefully you can see a bit more detail on them. Again, I'm quite pleased with how they've turned out. They didn't take me too long to paint these either. I quite enjoyed doing them. What I've done to try and reinstate my mojo is I'm actually painting bits and pieces. I'm not doing battalions at the moment, or large units. What I'm doing is individual figures or groups of figures, which I think gives a bit more, sorry I'm wandering a bit there, gives a bit more interest, and it's a bit more, well, it's a change basically from the humdrum production line process, which I think that was possibly getting me down with painting, but anyway, who knows, we'll not go on about that. So these are done, and I'm pleased with how they've resulted. The next thing I've got to do, which is on the table at the moment, is I've got about 7 Prussian casualty figures, which I'm going to paint up and then put on the war-base markers, the little circular ones with the little window in, so they count down the number of casualties or increase them, as the case may be. And I've already done some of those previously, and they've worked out okay. And if you bear with me, I'll get a couple out so you can have a nosy. And here we have the two casualty figures that I was talking about as casualty markers. They're on the war base disc. I think it's about 30 millimeters, the disc, 30 millimeters diameter, something like that. And of course, the little wheel can be used to increase the number of casualties that they represent, around to 12 in total. And the same with this guy. And they're actually quite useful, I think. They're just, from my point of view, they're aesthetically better than having markers or a dice. I just prefer them. So I've got 7 of those to do. They're in my painting room upstairs, so I'm hoping I'll get those done fairly sharpish, and then move on to something else. So that's it really for the moment. Hope your projects are going well. I'm certainly seeing some very interesting stuff on YouTube myself, so it's nice to see that the hobby is still so vibrant. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll leave you to it. Cheers for now.